So I was on a one-to-one coaching call with a client of mine, and this in particular package that I offered to him, this in particular process that we're going through, this transformation, was about a pornography addiction, alongside some other things as well, right? So I have two programs that I sell myself. I have the School of Life, which is my paid community. You can find that in the link down below. And I also have my one-to-one coaching, which I don't usually publicly sell. It's more just for people with higher levels of income and more funds to spend that want to work with me personally, right? But anyway, I have this one-to-one client, and he was talking to me about his porn addiction and how bad this has gone. Obviously, I'm not going to mention any names or any personal details because of client confidentiality, but I will just tell this story because it goes to put into perspective how bad this addiction can be. And I don't really like referring to it as an addiction. We'll get into that in a second, but this individual is a straight male, right, with a pornography addiction. Initially, it just started off as normal porn, like anyone else would, right? And then it funneled through, we're skipping a lot here, but then it funneled through to the more findom kind of world, which if you don't know what that is, findom is financial domination and fandom is, well, basically female domination, right? And I am aware of these industries and these niches in pornography because I've worked in the adult entertainment industry myself. Both personally and just managing models as well. So I'm aware of this industry from both ends of the spectrum, right? I understand it from being a performer in this industry and also from coaching young men how to stop watching this kind of content. So I completely understand both sides of it. And this individual who was a straight male, okay, started watching the findom content. So that's basically where you literally just give money to these adult stars for nothing in return. Okay, or just to be dominated, just to be like humiliated, right? So you just send them money and they will literally just say, thanks nerd, thanks loser. They probably won't even say thanks, so just call you a loser. That's pathetic, is that all you can give me? And then you'll send them more, and this is the addiction, right? But you develop some subconscious kink to being dominated financially and just sending your money away to a girl with nothing in return. No nudes, no sexual content. It's not like OnlyFans, you just send the money away to this girl and you get nothing in return. And that's the whole concept of findom, right? The fandoms kind of stuff and female domination is kind of the same thing. It's just being dominated by a female, which is obviously the roles have reversed, right? And that is crazy alone, but it gets worse than this, okay? And this is not just this guy. I'm not targeting this one coaching client and putting him on blast here. This is literally most men with a pornography addiction go down this route and get into this kind of stuff. Believe me, I've worked in the industry, I've seen it. Literally married men. I've stalked their Facebook profiles after out of pure curiosity. And these guys literally have wives, they've got their fucking wedding day as the profile picture. I'm like, bro, I know what you've been up to on these sites, you dirty bugger. Anyway, then he went into like watching gay porn and stuff like that. And he's a straight male, that's why I mentioned it. He watched gay porn now. And he's like, yeah, that's the only thing that does it for me. And it's because you build up, it's like a drug, right? You build up one adaptation to the drug, you get one certain dopamine high from it, and then you can't get the same dopamine high again because it has to be a new experience, right? So when you take drugs for the first time, you get a certain high from that drug because it's a new sensation in your nervous system. And then you chase that high because it feels so good. And normal day-to-day life is boring and dull and mundane, right? So you chase the next high and then the next one. Before you know it, you're either a crack addict or you're doing stupid shit like watching gay porn when you're a straight male. So, and this is no disrespect to my coaching client in any way. It's more just to highlight the effect of how bad this addiction can really get. So we're going to be talking about today, and this is free information because I have the full sexual mastery video course completely included in my School of Life. You can find that in the bio down below. If you really are serious about solving this, that is the place to go. We'll not only teach you how to permanently solve your pornography addiction for life, we have every single bit of information / cure that potentially might work for you. And every single person that has gone through that process is guaranteed to cure their addiction forever. And that is not an over-exaggeration. That's literally what will happen if you join my school down below for a little over $3 a day, $99 a month. You will cure your pornography addiction for the rest of your life. It's a pretty good trade-off, right? But alongside that, we also teach premature ejaculation cures, erectile dysfunction, semen retention, breath control, bedroom game, dirty talk. Everything's in the sexual mastery course. You can find that down below. Now let's get back to the video. Reverse engineering. What does that mean? So when you first started watching pornography, you started to maybe gradually get into it. Someone showed you it in school or something, or you found some like sex game or some bullshit on the computer, or I don't know, For whatever reason, you just clicked on a naughty website by accident, right? Something came up and you weren't supposed to see it, but you're like, what's this? And naturally, you get a little bit hooked on it. I've been there myself when I was younger, of course I have. Like, I think every single man has, but it's important that we kick this habit/addiction as soon as humanly possible, because it literally will ruin your entire life. It will fuck you up, clearly, right? And I've seen it firsthand from both ends of the spectrum. Now, when you indulge in this type of content, it's rewiring your subconscious mind. So you not only get issues like erectile dysfunction when it comes to a real life bedroom experience, you get premature ejaculation as well, because what have you been doing the whole time you've been watching porn? You've not been training yourself to last long. You've just been going boom as fast as possible and getting it over with, right? Now, this is a problem because it starts off small. You start watching tame, normal content, right? Then you start to watch the hardcore shit or the weird shit or the niche down, kinky shit, and you get addicted to that, and you will never ever be able to find that level of satisfaction or that level of dopamine hit with a real life situation, because it's not how it works, right? Porn is such an over-exaggerated, trust me, I've done it, it's pure acting. None of it's real. And it's such an over-exaggerated perception of what sex actually is and what sexual arousal and sexual satisfaction actually represents, right? It's so like out of nowhere. So this is a problem because you get addicted to something that isn't real and you'll never be able to find it anywhere else. That's the point. It's a business. It's a legitimate business as well. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. That's what all businesses do. But it's just, it plays on a natural desire for you as a man, which is obviously to reproduce and keep the cycle of life going and have sex. This is why this whole no-fap, semen retention, these things are great, right? But if you're going onto a movement, you're never going to cure it. It's all a big scam. So anyway, get away from the no-fap shit, get away from the semen retention shit, get away from counting the days. I'm on a 30-day streak. Get away from all of that, all right? I've told you about how this guy came up to me once in the gym and he was like, yeah, he was a good friend of mine at the time. I don't really speak to him anymore, but he came up to me in the gym and he was like, oh, Luke, how long have you been on no-fap for, out of curiosity? And I looked at him like, bro, what are you talking about? Don't say that to me in real life. I was like, the nerdiest shit ever. Don't say that, right? I'm not on no-fap. I'm not on semen retention. I just don't do those things. That is my life. I'm just the guy that doesn't watch porn. Very simple. And that is another key point we teach in Sexual Mastery in the School of Life down below in the link, is we teach you how to just detach from this weird mindset of like, I need to quit porn. I need to, stop watching it. No-fap. We teach you how to get away from all this nerdy internet advice that will never work. And it keeps you in this never-ending loop of relapsing, consuming the content, relapsing, consuming the content. What we teach you, and this is just a little bit of free preview here, is reverse engineering the subconscious brain. So let's think about how you started to watch porn. You started small and then built up. We're just going to do the opposite, but the other way around. Instead of trying to focus and literally go cold turkey and change your entire life, because you've probably been doing this for a good couple of years, you've ingrained your subconscious mind with pornographic content through the screen for a good couple of years. You really expect you're just going to decide one day, wake up out of bed and go, oh, I'm never going to watch it again. It's probably unrealistic, right? So we have to reverse engineer the process that got you addicted to it in the first place. How do we do that? Is we start small. That's what you did when you first started watching it, so we're going to do the same to not watch it anymore, is we're going to start small. So don't try and jump and go on this 30-day streak and all this bollocks. Just start to identify as the kind of man that doesn't watch pornography anymore. Just say to yourself, I am the man that doesn't watch porn, that doesn't self-pleasure, right? I just don't do that anymore. I only get it in real life from real life women. Cool, nice. That's who you are. You're not on a movement. You're not on no-fap. You're not on semen retention, because this identity, this self-image that you view as yourself is still a loser. Like a loser has to go on a movement to stop touching himself. A loser has to go on fucking semen retention to control himself. Like, it's losery, low vibrational identities. Whereas the person that you want to be, a high vibrational, in control man is the key word, someone that has control over himself, wouldn't have to go on no-fap or go on a movement or count the days and just say, you know what, fuck this. This isn't good for me. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It's a negative experience of life. I'm going to decide and choose not to do it anymore. Okay? And the way we do that is by reverse engineering. You start small, you identify as the man that doesn't do those things anymore, and you just start small. Slowly start to reduce your watch time. If before maybe you watched it 4 times a week, maybe try and resist the temptation for just one day extra. And now you only watch it 3 times a week instead, for example, right? Cool, that's a win. That's better, that's progress, right? It's baby steps, small wins in the right direction. Start off small, it's very, very important. The second point I want to make alongside that, so you're going to be doing that in the background consistently, trying to reduce the time that you watch this kind of content and replace those actions and activities and that dopamine hit with real life activities, real life things, social interaction, cold showers, going to the gym, going on a run, going outside for a cold walk and breathing in the fresh air and thinking about life. Right, having things to dedicate yourself to. Maybe start a business, start that YouTube channel, start that personal brand. Okay, go and talk to some real life women instead. Go and try something new. Do anything else. Read a book. Do you know what I mean? Build up a hobby, do something else, do something that's positively impacting your life, because then you're gonna get natural dopamine, real dopamine. And you can slowly start to addict yourself to positive dopamine from positive actions rather than manipulated dopamine from pornographic content, okay? So while you're doing that in the background, what you're also gonna do is understand the psychology and the subconscious rewiring that takes place. And I like to call this just giving yourself freedom of choice. So what do most people do when they start to understand pornography is bad? They now see it as a sin. And this is why religion as a whole, I'm not a religious individual, not only for many other reasons, but for one of these reasons as well, is that it's too constricted. It's too, you can't do this, you can do this is bad, this is good. That's not what life is. Life is just experience. There is no such thing as positive, negative, good, bad. That's all up to you to decide, okay? And so, like, I'll give you an example, right? You could say, oh, there's a religion, and I don't want to get too religious in this video, but you could say that in the religion, killing someone is a sin, but, and that's bad. You should never ever kill someone, right? It's a sin. But if I'm walking down the street and someone tries to attack my little brother and baby sister, and I end up killing them because I'm too fucking hench, whoops, I don't give a shit. Deserved it, right? So anyway, that's a side tangent, but it ties into the mindset and the psychology that is required for you to quit this addiction. Religious men, I've worked with these men one-to-one, as you know, helped them with their porn addiction, and most of my clients are religious men that see it as a sin. I know I shouldn't be doing it, but that's why they're so addicted, because they shouldn't be doing it. And they've told themselves that, and they've read the Bible or whatever else they believe in, and that's what's keeping them restricted, okay? When you tell yourself in this life, which you've been given free will, by the way, when you tell yourself I'm not allowed to do something, it restricts free will, because now you cannot do something that, well, realistically, you could choose to do, right? So in the brain, if you're taking away free will from yourself, you're now thinking, oh, but I kind of want to do it now. It's like when you're a kid and you're told, oh, don't touch or don't eat the sweets. You want to eat the sweets even more because you've been told you can't. I don't know what it is. It's just a human psychology, human nature it's curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat. So you want to do it more now that you've been told you can't, okay? So with that being said, you have to give yourself freedom of choice. You have to get out of this mindset of good, bad, positive, negative, can and can't, should and shouldn't. Fuck all of that. There is no rules to life, right? Life is a very spiritual and flowing experience, and that's what it is. It's a key word. It's just an experience. If you relapse on porn, is it going to end your entire life? Are you never going to make 10K a month? Are you never going to get a real life go? No, of course not. It's just an experience you went through. It's not the end of the world, all right? So understand this and give yourself freedom of choice. Now, what do I mean by that? It might seem a bit controversial or a bit counterintuitive, but I want you to give yourself the choice to watch pornography and then just decide not to do it. Very simple. Rather than walking around saying, oh, I'm on NoFap and I'm not allowed to because then I failed NoFap, or I'm not allowed to because it's a sin in my religion or whatever. Fuck all of this. Say to yourself, I can do whatever I want. I've got free will. I am my own man. I'm an individual. I'll live life the way I choose. And I have freedom of choice. I can choose today where I direct my energy and what I decide to do with the energy that I have on a daily basis and the actions I do. I can choose that because I'm a fully grown man and I can do what I want, right? If I get the temptation to go and watch pornography, it doesn't mean that I have to choose to release my sexual urge, because the urges are completely normal. I'll make this very clear right now. You feeling the urge to have sex and to release your sexual energy, especially as a man, is a completely normal thing. Don't let anyone tell you, or a fucking book, a religious book, to tell you, oh, you feeling the urge to release, which is a completely natural and biologically sane thing to feel, is wrong, because it's not. Okay, well, obviously you make your own opinion. I'm not going to tell you what's right and wrong, but that's my opinion on it. You should be able to feel the urges of releasing your sexual energy. Otherwise, what's the point of life? That's the whole point of life, is to self-preserve, is to keep your legacy alive, to regulate, whatever. So if you don't ever feel the urge ever again, then that would be pointless and would never keep the cycle of life going. No one would ever feel horny, and if no one's horny, no one's gonna have sex, no one's gonna have kids, Earth dies out. So the urge is fine. It's what you decide to do with that sexual energy the urge creates can be a problem. So when the urge builds up and you're feeling a bit horny and you start to think about all this kinky shit on porn that you could go and watch, instead just decide, I have control, I'm my own man, I should and shouldn't, all this bullshit's out of your brain. I can't watch porn, I shouldn't. Forget all of that. You can if you want. Because I'll tell you right now, if you watch porn today, it's not going to make any difference to your life. It really isn't. It's the long-term effect that it has that's the big thing. So if you slip up and relapse once in a fucking week, it's not going to end your entire life. No fap streak, all this bullshit doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't. So tell yourself, I have the freedom of choice and I'm going to just choose not to watch it. That's it. Simple. It's not a case of, I can't watch it. Do what you want. You have free will and you have freedom of choice. What are you going to choose to do with that free will and that energy that you have every single day? And this can apply to any addiction. And again, the identity thing, forget about addiction. You're not an addict. It's not an addiction. It's not something that has power over you, some demon, some devil that's got power over you. No. Again, you're a fully grown man. You have control over everything that goes on in your life. And that will always be the case. You go out on the street and you get mugged. You're not a victim. It's not out of your control. You could have done something to prevent that. Right? In any way. There's so many micro little ways you could have done it. You could have stepped differently the way when you went on that path and past those people so that when you got mugged, you didn't fall over. There's so many things you could do to prevent things from happening or to make things happen. And it's always in your control. Your reality is a manifestation of you and what you choose to feed into. If you're a porn addict, I never use that word. I was never addicted. It was just something I indulged in more than I should when I was younger. That was it. I don't even view myself as an addict because self-image is the most important thing. The way you view yourself is a direct correlation with how your reality will manifest itself in the physical world. If you view yourself as an addict, you will always be an addict. Once an addict, always an addict. It's bullshit. Forget that. Get that out of your brain. It doesn't exist. Once an addict, always an addict. Why? Well, because you're deciding that. That's why. I decide I'm the fucking man and I have control over my life and I can do whatever I want. If I decide one day that pornography is bullshit and it's affecting me and it's making me feel like a loser, then I'm also going to decide, because I'm the man, I have control, that I'm never going to watch it again. Simple. I'm not an addict. It's not some demon. It's not some thing that has control over me. I decide I'm never watching it again. Done. Never watch it again. Simple. So let's recap. Number one, reverse engineer. Okay, so take the process backwards. So how did you get addicted to it? Do the opposite and just do it the other way around. So you small and slowly started to consume that pornographic content. Now you're going to small actions and slowly decide to not do it when you get the urge and go do something else, right? Because if you're busy, I'll be completely real with you. If you're busy and you have things going on, you don't have time to do that. I don't have time to sit and have a wank. I've got shit to do. And also real life women are amazing as well. If you go out and just get a real life girl and you have that in your life, you don't really need to. Because what's the point, right? It can never be better than a real life girl. So just get outside a bit more, man. And literally going outside is probably the cure to most problems that most people have. Just go outside of your house. Go for a walk, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, some vitamin D, go and talk to people, socialize, meet new people, do things, exercise. You're fine, okay? Number two is identity and self-image and the way that you perceive yourself, okay? Make sure you're always keeping this positive and controllable. Don't ever victimize yourself or make yourself feel like you are out of control in life, because you're not ever. And number three is just freedom of choice. Give yourself freedom of choice. Give yourself the ability to choose what you want to do with your energy every single day. And it's up to you what you decide. I'm not going to tell you don't watch porn or do watch porn. It's completely up to you, bro. If you want to indulge in porn every day, go for it, my friend. Be my guest. You probably still make 10K a month because those things aren't correlated. I hate this no-fap shit. If you watch porn once, you'll never make 10K. Bullshit. It just doesn't make any difference, right? But it's the long-term effect that it has on you as a man and your confidence and your mindset and what you're doing with your time. Yeah, those things can waste time and stop your probability of making 10K a month, sure. But is it a direct correlation? No, not at all, all right? If you want to truly master it and permanently cure it for the rest of your life to make sure it never ever comes back again, you can finally walk down the street and feel like that guy. You can stop getting laughed at in the girls group chat. You can do so with the School of Life, in my bio for a little over $3 a day, which is an absolute bargain. And the reason it's a bargain is because it's on a Black Friday sale. Usually it's $1,000 per month. It's now only $99. So that'll be an amazing use of your time, money, and energy. And not only that, you'll have a network of guys that are on the same path as you, so it doesn't feel so lonely in life. Okay? Take care, and I'll see you there.